All right, let's talk about the digital world. There's this constant, invisible battle going on for your data. Today, we're going to be the two key players on the front lines, the shield and the detective. Let's dive into the world of cybersecurity and digital forensics. I mean, think about it. Every single time you go online, who's actually got your back? And when things do go wrong, who's the one sifting through the digital rubble to find the clues? This isn't some sci-fi movie. It's a real, invisible battle happening every second of every day. Well, this whole battlefield has a name. CSDF. It stands for Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics. You can think of it as a two-part mission. First, protect our digital world, and second, investigate the crimes that happen inside it. These two fields are really just two sides of the same coin. On one side, you've got cybersecurity. We're calling it the shield. It's all about being proactive, right? Stopping attacks before they can even happen. Then, on the flip side, you have digital forensics, the detective. This part is reactive. They show up after a crime has already happened to piece it all together and figure out what went down. So let's start with that first line of defense. We're diving into part one, cybersecurity, the shield. The shield's entire purpose, everything it does, every firewall, every password rule, it all boils down to one single core principle. And that principle is called the CIA triad. No, not that CIA. This one stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality is all about keeping secrets secret. Integrity makes sure your data is accurate and hasn't been tampered with. And availability, well, that just means your data is actually there when you need to access it. Every security measure is just this delicate dance between these three goals. Okay, let's make this a little more real. You've been there, right? You're trying to log into a website, and it makes you prove you're not a robot by clicking on pictures of traffic lights or whatever. Yeah, of course you have. That little test, that's CAPTCHA, and it's a perfect, simple example of a shield in action. It's just a test to tell humans and computers apart. And by doing that, it stops all sorts of nasty stuff, spam, fake accounts, and even brute force attacks, where a bot just tries thousands of passwords a second. So yeah, it's a simple little thing, but it's an incredibly effective first line of defense. But, no shield is perfect. So what happens when something gets through? Well, that's where we meet the other half of our team. Welcome to part two, digital forensics, the detective. So once an attack succeeds, the whole game changes. It's not about prevention anymore. It's about investigation. The new mission is to figure out how, when, and who committed a cybercrime by analyzing digital traces. The detective arrives at the digital crime scene, ready to follow the breadcrumbs left behind. And this isn't just guesswork, not at all. It's this super methodical six-phase process. It starts with identification, just figuring out what could even be evidence. Then, and this is absolutely critical, comes preservation. You have to lock that data down so it can't be changed. From there, it's collection, examination, and analysis, all leading up to the final step, presentation. That's when all the findings get put into a report or maybe even presented in a court of law. So what does a case for our digital detective actually look like? Well, a super common one involves something we all use literally every day, email. Let's talk about email forensics. I mean, think about it. Email is a huge gateway for phishing scams, identity theft, you name it. But here's the thing. The biggest clue isn't usually in the message you can read. It's hidden in the email header. Think of it like a digital postmark. It has the email's entire travel history, IP addresses, timestamps, all the servers it bounced through. It's the digital paper trail. And while they're uncovering all this, investigators have to maintain a super strict chain of custody. It's a log that tracks every single person who touches the evidence, making sure it can hold up in court. Okay, so we've met the shield and the detective. But what are they actually working with? What's in their toolkit? Let's get into it. Part 3, the digital toolkit. This table gives us a really good snapshot. You've got versatile tools like Wireshark, which analyzes network traffic, so it's useful for both sides. Then there's Snort, a classic shield tool for spotting intruders. On the detective side, you have stuff like Recuva for pulling back deleted files. And then there's this really fascinating shield tool called a honeypot. Now, a tool like Snort brings up a really important difference in defense strategy, IDS versus IPS. Here's a simple way to think about it. An intrusion detection system, or IDS, is like a security camera. It sees a threat and it sends an alert. Hey, something's wrong. An intrusion prevention system, or IPS, is more like a security guard. It doesn't just see the threat, it steps in and actively blocks it, right then and there. It's the difference between knowing there's a problem and actually stopping it. And speaking of those detective tools, like Rakuva, they work because of this really interesting quirk in how computers work. When you permanently delete a file, you're not actually wiping it off the disk. You're just telling the computer, hey, this space is available now. The actual data, the ones and zeros, can sit there for a long time, just waiting to be overwritten. For a forensics expert, that's a potential goldmine of evidence. Okay, remember that honeypot tool I mentioned? It is one of the cleverest ideas in cybersecurity. It's a decoy system, a trap, that's designed to be attacked. A low-interaction one might just fake a few things to trick simple bots. But a high-interaction honeypot? That's a full-blown system that lets the good guys become detectives themselves. They can just sit back and watch an attacker's every single move to learn all their tricks. Which brings us to our final part, and kind of the whole point of this field. Part 4, the endless pursuit. Because at the end of the day, these two roles are locked together in this continuous, never-ending cycle. The shield builds the walls. Attackers, they always find the cracks. Then the detective comes in to investigate those cracks, not just to solve the crime, but to feed that information back to the shield so they know exactly where to build the walls stronger next time. And that really leaves us with one last question to chew on. In this digital world that's always changing, is the best defense a good offense, building these massive, impenetrable shields? Or is the smartest investigator the one who can learn from every single failure, the real ultimate protector? The truth is, you need both, working together in this endless pursuit of digital safety.